Hello, welcome back to Apologize Ace Attorney. In the last episode, we started investigations into the last case of the game. Finally, we're here. And today, we'll be going to trial for the first time in a case in which we practically know diddly f***ing do. Let's go. Good morning. So, you're Vera, right? I'm Trucy. Trucy Wright. That's right with a W. Not right, right? We're on your side. You can tell us anything, please? Good morning. She speaks. Not bad, not bad. But I think you'd do better with a little smile, you know? You never fully dress without a smile. Trucy, let's take it easy for starters. What? Thank you for taking my case. Okay, well, that's a start, I guess. There she goes again with the nail polish. That's great, really. It's so cultured. Wanna try? Ooh, really? The victim drew mission was a forger, and a stolen painting was found in a studio. A life of crime, really, and maybe that one that led to his death. Of course, it's this prick again. We will begin the trial of Vera mission. Is the judge okay? His voice is a little raspy and he's looking around all nervous like. The repercussions of today's trial will most likely be felt for a long time, and may indeed alter our legal system forever. Today is a test of the jury system and the first step to our new order in our courts. Daddy's secret mission. Just as much like a jury. It is hoped that inclusion will help the courts to better reflect the people's will. Why aren't there any jurists in the courtroom? 3 closed-circuit cameras watch this courtroom at all times. Jurors have access to everything that transpires. Jurist, judge well, and judge cool. No, see here, Prosecutor Gavin. I was going to say it. My apologies here, Judge. Ready to rock and roll, dude. Judge today's trial cruelly, if you'll be so kind. The jurists are unbound by the letter of the law. They don't affect the trial with evidence, but by their feelings. And we'd rather find out just what effect they're going to have. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. The details of the case, if you would. The victim is the painter Chumishu. He was killed in his own studio. His coffee was poisoned. By whom, you ask? The defendant, Vera Mission. There wasn't any poison in the coffee. Someone's been doing their homework. Indeed, poison was not poison in the coffee, but in the mug itself. The mug? Residue was found on the room, I see. The autopsy report describes the manner of our victim's death. The court accepts this as evidence. Okay, yay. According to this, what does it say? Oh wait, he's gonna tell me. The victim's death was caused by atropine poisoning. A chemical compound that occurred naturally. Lethal dose is a mere 0.002 milligrams. Touch of the atropine in the body is the touch of the Reaper's scythe. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin, you may present your witness. I view today a simple man for a simple case, a man who's witnessed the murder in its entirety. That journalist, no doubt. The witness will state his name and occupation.
Right. Well, for starters, my name's Spark Brushel. My job is a lone observer of the world.
In other words, a freelance journalist, right?
If you don't mind, I'd like to state something here for the record.
Yes, Mr. Brushel?
I dislike conclusions, specifically the jumping into the aspect of conclusions. Preconceptions make part of the sandbox of endless desert waste, end quote.
But you are a journalist. You said so yourself yesterday.
Well, that's true, yes. But you must understand, I stand before you today, a man with a dream.
Let's hear your testimony then, shall we? A simple case, eh, Gavin?
His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. And you know what happened next? Star balls, end quote.
That's vague. I mean, I know what you mean by that, but I'm gonna need you to be a little bit more specific. That does sound like a simple case, unless...
What are you saying, Judge?
Need I remind you, the cameras are rolling today. I felt the need to be a bit dramatic.
You didn't do it, did you? Me do anything like that? Come on, that's like newsmaker making the news, end quote. I mean, contemporary witch hunt, end quote. I know, wild accusations rock courtroom, end quote.
Oh my god, this game. It's really good. It's one of 3 things. It's either the character's annoying. Each case has one of the following 3 things. 1, the characters are all annoying. 2, the story makes no goddamn sense. Or 3, both 1 and 2. One of those 3 things is true in all these cases. Prosecutor Gavin looks like he's having fun. I'm so happy for him. Very well, Mr. Dusty, your cross-examination, please. Okay, well, I just need you to tell me more about what you mean by the star falls. What's this about a star falling?
Star falls, huh? Send money over. Zowie. You don't know? That's like a journalism code word. An important personage passes away. A star falls, got it? But there's no gravity in space, is there? I wouldn't think stars fall, really.
Does this matter?
Oh boy, this is good stuff, good stuff. How about star breaks? Nah, likes punch. I know, star dies. Nah, that's imagination. Of course, you could go with Jew dies. Straight to the point. I like it.
I think we need to hear something a little substantive. I mean, I could ask about, like, maybe he'll say there was poison in the coffee. Same as Mr. Harry had the coffee too, but did you actually see him drink the coffee?
Of course, who sees it wins, but who says it wins bigger, end quote. I live in man sees dog eat, the dog and writes about it, world eat.
Yet.
I guess I can't say I saw him drink it, really. He had one so-called sip, if that. Man puts lip to mud, drinks, end quote.
The poison then is quite virulent, I hear.
My stomach did a so-called somersault. Since I gulped down that coffee without so much as a second glance at it. Wait, maybe something's there. Some kind of so-called trick. Anyone want to venture a guess? For the record?
Does this guy have a pause button?
Could you please press the pause button on your remote?
Fantastic show, by the way. The victim drank his coffee, then immediately fell over. Well, that's just f***ing wrong, because I thought it was made very clear that the actual intracanine takes like 20 minutes or whatever to actually have effect. Please add it to the testimony. Very well.
Vital, right?
He had one sip of that, next one was on the floor. Wrong, because atracanine, yep. You know what I have a problem with? A particular property of the poison used, atracanine. Oh, prosecutor was quite clear about the poison. I'll leave those, yes, I got that. Unfortunately, there was a vital omission in prosecutor Gavin's information. An omission? Atracanine is as virulent as he says, but death doesn't come upon ingestion, not immediately. That's because atracanine is slow-acting. Slow-acting? According to one forensic scientist.
It's one of the most virulent poisons, but is absorbed into the body astonishingly slow. It takes at least 15 minutes from the time of adjusting for adverse effects to show. If we suppose that the moment Mr. Misham sipped the coffee was when he sealed his fate, then he would still have had time to enjoy his last cup of joe. Order! What's the meaning of this? If what the defense says is correct, why, that contradicts the entire testimony we've just heard. Well, Mr. Brushel, anything to say on the record? Slow acting? Slow act. He was virulent, alright? Even then, it had already begun digging its claws into the journalist. He's working on his scoop.
It's Brushel, ja? Hey, Brushel. Let's take a trip down memory lane.
Huh?
The victim died and died and so took a sip. Think it over. This is vital.
You know what I think? I think that was a not-so-subliminal suggestion, end quote.
And maybe that's cause probably if you died when you say you died. I'd be forced to say a waitershin to my simple case. You would be forced to say farewell to your article.
Come again?
You can't write extermination conjecture, can you? As the case drags on, other reporters pick up the scent. And you'll be forced to kiss your exclusive scoop goodbye.
Scoop. Look, wait, just wait a second, just 1 second.
We're waiting, out with it.
I just recall a so-called important detail. A Bible of recollection, end quote. A story of survival, end quote.
Attorney utterly confused, end quote.
Actually, I did notice something when I visited the studio. I've heard of poison that takes a sweet time, you see.
But not what I've been saying last few minutes, apparently.
Mr. Brushel, are you saying you're noticing something that explains what happened?
You bet I am. The antidote for a poisonous contradiction, end quote, you might say.
Well, I still have no idea what you're talking about, end quote, I might say. I figured it out, but only after an in-depth interview. See, thanks to my journalism skills, I know who poisoned that coffee.
Order. As far as I can tell, the witness is standing by his own testimony. That Mr. Misham died the instant after he drank.
Of course I'm standing by my testimony, and my dream of exclusive rights to this story.
This was too much to hope for.
What was?
Of course he wouldn't choose a simple case. Not him. Phoenix, right, who else? Actor Brushel, report for us if you would. What is it that you noticed?
This court is a critical trial of the justice system. I'm afraid no room for doubt is permissible. You will testify to the court about what you noticed. Oh my god, this case is... I can't believe this game. I can't believe this game is already that broken. When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk.
He seemed to be writing a letter, but he clearly sealed the envelope. I thought nothing of it at the time, of course. Now that I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note?
A suicide note.
Yes, he had this look in his face. Man's face inscrutable as a quadratic equation, end quote. Suicide? Poor Mr. Misham, but that means Vera's innocent. Would someone commit suicide in the middle of an interview? Oh.
Very well, you begin your cross-examination. Okay, what Brushel noticed? Well, you notice he was writing a letter. I don't see how he would have had time to do that. So he put the letter away when he saw you.
A reporter gets worm, end quote. That's my secret. I'm not sure I follow. It's the night of the interview. I arrive 15 minutes ahead of schedule. The handle turns, the door opens, and I barge in.
Are you sure that's okay to do? I mean, isn't that unlawful entry, really?
Mr. Misham should have seemed to think so. You should have seen him. He crammed his letter into that yellow envelope as fast as he could.
Wait, yellow envelope? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that envelope we have red? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this envelope is red. Although, actually, wait a second. Wait a second.
Say that again?
No! No, stop, off. Literally, nobody asked. Not one single person in the world asked for your input on this, Alexa. Off. Jesus Christ. Okay. So, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, is that doesn't even, this double doesn't make sense, because one envelope is red and two, it's written to Drew Misham. Doesn't seem significant. Well, Mr. Justice, I wonder. Does set the ring of something important. Add the testimony. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. Defense lines is testimony vital, Your Honor. Whoa, please add to the testimony then.
Hey, why not? My account comes free of charge.
Yellow envelope, then why do we have a red one?
It just so happens there was a single letter and desk drawer at the scene. In a red envelope. What? Prosecutor Gavin.
Yes?
Was a yellow envelope found at the scene of the crime?
Unfortunately, no, but here, forehead.
It's easy to mistake the No, it's not! Not when the colors are yellow versus red!
I guess. But not this envelope. You see, it was postmarked already 7 years ago.
Well, Mr. Brushel?
I can explain that. You, right? He wanted to get the letter in an envelope pronto. Get out of my sight to VDIs, right? So he grabbed the nearest envelope and crammed away.
And what about the whole red and yellow envelope contradiction, chump? Well, Mr. Justice, haven't you anything to say to the witness's claim? That night, the victim put a letter writing in it. No, why would he do it? No, it's written to himself.
Expressive confidence.
It's simple, really. As it just happens with the citizen of a forensic scientist.
What?
Note that the letter is addressed to Drew Misham.
Ow.
Why would he address a letter to himself? Let alone send a suicide note to himself.
Scooped.
Order! Mr. Brushel, can you explain this to the court?
Oh, my. How could I have forgotten? I suppose it happens to be the best of us. Reporter gets old, forgets lost. End quote.
I'm still waiting for an explanation, Mr. Brushel.
Oh, that's the thing. See, after he put his letter in the envelope, Mr. Bishop sat there searching his desk for a drawer for something.
His desk drawer?
Yes, a stamp, still called postage stamp, end quote.
A stamp? Whatever for?
Well, to mail his letter. What else? And then, why, yes, I think I saw him put in his letter in the box. Yes, it was a yellow envelope.
Well, apparently this...
Oh, I wish I did. Just think if there were a suicide note. What a story. Star writes suicide note in front of a reporter. Follows, end quote.
As I was saying, that has nothing to do with this case. That said,
Yes, Your Honor.
it makes me wonder about the contents of that red envelope. I don't know, it's quite a good deal of money.
This is 7 years ago, ja?
So, am I finished? Am I finished here? I was thinking of, going home and start writing.
I hate to say what should be pretty obvious to everyone, but when you catch the scent of a story, you make that rather unique face.
Come on. Attorney has active imagination, little else, end quote.
Even I noticed something, and my eyes aren't what they used to be. You know, I'm starting to understand what all this proceeding stuff is about.
Judge has active imagination, end quote.
Please, continue with your testimony. Tell us about the scent of a story.
Hey, I'm the one asking the questions here, usually.
No, not this time, you're not. Because you're at the witness stand.
I can take a little work to get done on the interview. Report leverages story, gets his interview, end quote. The story concerned a certain case 7 years ago. Red envelope probably has something to do with it. Same with you, but Judas Tesla down was,
I don't know what that said. So you threatened to go to press with the story? That's how you got your interview? Blackmail?
Well, yes. No. I wasn't exactly black. I did.
Something wrong, Mr. Brushel?
Look, this is my story, my tidbit. Journalist info was led to it, end quote.
I see.
While you have me chatting away in here, what else? What's going on out there? What if some Wally Wordsworth or Sally Cooper gets wind of my story? It could be going to press while I'm going to waste.
The court feels your pain, Mr. Brushel. Mr. Justice, let's pick up the pace.
A certain case 7 years ago. Wait, 7 years ago?
Okay, the son of the story.
Oh, look at that. We can use the bracelet. How convenient.
Okay, what's the most suspicious statement? Thumbs of the at work. He's not reacting poorly here. Probably something to do with it. So you will talent without compare. Let's try this one. About his talent. That's the least clear cut and dry one. Okay, first check of hand. Nothing. Toothpaste maybe. Is he sweating? He was sweating. Is that seriously what I have to point out? The fact that he was sweating. Okay, great. Now we get to wait for the text to come around again. When I come around.
Sweat like Mr. Brushel? Yeah, well, make it up with Glenn, you know? It's more than that. When Mr. Misham's talent was mentioned, you suddenly began to sweat buckets. You're hiding something about his talent. What? That's ridiculous. Evidence time. Let's show what Mr. Talent's true what, you mean forgery? It's probably forgery. Where's the hidden... what, it would be this one. Yeah, this one. This painting was found in Mr. Misham's studio. There are two problems with this painting. The first is that it wasn't painted by Mr. Misham. The second is that there was another painting in the studio, which looked exactly like this one, except it was only half done. Then we have a letter discussing a payment of $100,000, which is just a certain business operation. The business of making forgeries. That is all, Your Honor. Everyone please, everyone. Can we keep this private, please? This is my story, my scoop.
Forgery, that's a serious crime.
Tuition is known as an artist these days, but there were rumors he dabbled in another kind of art until a few years back.
Another art meeting.
Tuition was talented, alright? Talented in making precise detailed fakes. A fact that certain criminal elements were quick to discover. Criminal elements? What? You can't seriously be talking about... Exactly. The rumors started circulating 7 years ago.
So 7 years ago? So are we going to understand that this letter, this payment of $100,000 is for...
Exactly. Forged evidence, that's tidy profit, end quote.
Order! 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 Why, it's like our victim was living a double life.
Aha, this is my chance. So the victim has ties to the criminal world, right? We could have had plenty of enemies we know nothing about.
This is my first interview of this criminal world. We certainly have had no criminal connections when we conducted our investigation.
But how do you explain all this money? You have to admit there's a possibility of some illegal activity here.
But there's no proof tying this letter to our case. Our case is and remains simple from the beginning.
You admitted 30 seconds ago, or fine, I'll be lenient. Like 10 minutes ago, you admitted that this case was not simple.
Hey, you, of course.
Hey.
Mr. Brushel, your testimony to this point has been quite unreliable. It doesn't speak well of your reporting acumen.
What are you talking about? My journalism is rock solid. My journalism is so solid you can stand the elephant on, end quote.
In any case, let's hear a summarized recap of your testimony. If we can ascertain the situation in that studio from the recap, the trial is over.
Apollo, what is he talking about? The cross-examination showed Mr. Brushel didn't have reason enough to poison him. As long as there's no other suspects, then the killer had to be Vera, that's what. This next testimony is our last chance. It probably is. Mr. Brushel, your testimony, please. Here we go. Interview or recap. The only person in the studio that night was the defendant. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She submitted it much herself. The only thing that touched her lips were the interview during that mug. And nothing left in the studio after he died, nothing.
I don't believe that even for a second.
Clearly the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter.
Unless it's been a clear second without room for doubt.
Aw, shucks. You really think so?
I believe this clarifies the situation that night. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin your final cross-examination.
Right. I still have one trump card left to play, and I won't let the trial end until I use it. Let's see. So you say nothing left until the studio tonight? I call bullshit. I'm almost 100% positive that earlier you told me that he was writing a letter, so that it was probably sent out. Not one thing, you're sure? Yep, sure as can be. Well, with one exception.
One exception? What?
Journalist Spark Brushel does interview leads studio, end quote.
You're not funny.
That wasn't comical. That you're not. No, it wasn't. No, jokes are funny. That wasn't funny. That was sad. So also, are you using the same toothbrush to clean your glasses that you? Okay, actually, no. Let's back up. Number one, you're using a toothbrush to clean your glasses. That's you messed up already. Number two, you're using the same toothbrush you used to clean your glasses. You used to clean your mouth. Why does it sound familiar? Where have I heard something like that before? Now that we've proven our witness is a comedian of sorts, I'd like to turn to our defense attorney before returning to the testimony. Do you have any idea? Yes, I do. I think one thing might very well have left the student tonight, actually. A certain something that has vanished from the crime scene. But what you mean? Something other than our witness? Of course.
Tell me.
Very mission, believe me, any comic relief I may provide is entirely unintentional. Then let's see what you got for us, Mr. Justice. Well, this thing wasn't at the scene of the crime, so I can't show it to you, but I do have evidence that shows how it could have been taken from the scene of the letterbox. It's the only link between that studio and the outside world. A letterbox? What did Mr. Brushel just tell us? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder, the victim had just finished writing a letter. Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail, and when it comes, I want to wail. Mail. That night, the yellow envelope disappeared.
Yes, indeed. So an envelope has disappeared from the scene of the crime. Of course, this changes nothing.
Huh? Here's the point, Mr. Justice. What we're trying to figure out here is how the poison got into Mr. Misham. Is it really important that the envelope the witness says he saw disappeared? Well, if it disappeared, then something did leave the studio that night. That seems very important to me. Very well, then the witness will have his testimony.
Is nothing supposed to change anything in your forehead?
I wouldn't be so sure. A letter disappeared from this crime scene that night. This is exactly the opening I've been looking for. The opening for what? The letter was put in the post from the studio, but I hardly think that matters. Oh, that's stupid. Oh, because he say something like the only thing Drew's lips touched was what? There was more. There was definitely more to that. There was definitely more to this testimony beforehand. I swear he said something like the only thing Drew's lips touched. Yup, the only thing that was touched was the mug. But if he sealed the letter, then he would have. Yup, he would have licked the stamp. Okay. So then the stamp might have been the thing that was poisoned. You sure about that?
Well, to be really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time.
One of those candies might.
You didn't tell me there was no fresh fragrance in midfield of the room, and no mint residue was found.
It was a long shot anyway.
Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this. Do you think the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something other than coffee?
Well, Mr. Justice? The possibility is there. I just feel it. I can feel it. Just maybe not prove it. And the possibility isn't going to cut it now. Has we ingested that poison? I can prove it. I can prove it, actually. And you want to know how I can prove it? Because we have the trace from the tiny frame right here. And I'll tell you what. This frame looks small enough to fit a stamp in. Wouldn't you agree?
You understand what we need, yeah? Proof here, forehead. Not impossibilities.
Actually, you know what? That makes even more sense. Here, you know what? Actually, I just noticed something. I just remembered something else. Where's that thing? Here. It says, use the enclosed stamp within 3 days. So, alright, you know what? I'm going to give a single point for that. I'm going to give a single point. One. Just one. It only gets one. This game gets exactly 1 point so far, story-wise. It's got plenty of points for visuals, but so far it has gotten no points for story or characters. I'm giving it one. I'm giving it one single point for this. This right here is actually a pretty clever twist. Credit where it's due. This is pretty cool. I honestly I wouldn't have believed that it came from this game. Credit where it's due. That's pretty clever. Can I get out of this thing, please? Of course, Prosecutor, I hope you understand. I'm ready to give you that proof.
What did you say?
I have proof of the disappearing envelope. Which was printed by the mailman, I assume? Of course, which means that the envelope had a stamp on it. A stamp? Oh! As we all know, stamps come with dried glue on the back. In order to use the glue, you have to wet it by licking the stamp.
No one was talking to actually lick stamps in this day and age.
Even if you wanted to talk to him, you couldn't. He's dead, after all.
Okay, so you lick the stamp, but wait. That doesn't explain the action opinion on the rim of the coffee mug.
And he looked in the back of the poison stamp, the poison would get on his tongue, yes? What would happen then if he put the coffee mug in his mouth, Those traces on the mug weren't the killers doing it, was the other way around. What? Coffee mug didn't poison Mr. Mission. Mr. Mission poisoned the coffee mug himself. Order, order, order. But that does it? Recall, if you would. Atropine is a slow-acting poison. Yes, the poison entered his body when he put the stamp on that envelope. But his time wasn't up until the very moment he touched his lips to that cup of joe. Is something up, Mr. Brushel? Uh-oh. His nose is picking up another scent.
As I mentioned earlier. That's the thing, see? This person said they're searching this gesture for something.
Yes, a stamp, so I can post a stamp, end quote.
But you know, I don't seem to remember him ever finding one.
Maybe we just run out?
Incidentally, we searched the desk drawer at the scene of the crime. There was no stamps. A single one.
No stamps. Oh, you proved that the stamp was coated with poison. Actually, I'm glad I know where the stamps were found. It makes proving the stamp it was used for was poison possible.
Good show, good show. You can't even prove there was a stamp at the scene in the first place.
Well, let's see what the defense say anyway. Where's your evidence that proves the existence of this poison stamp? The red envelope. Literally the red envelope. Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
I think our benevolent attorney's been thinking one too many stamps in his free time.
You smile like that when you torture all your victims, just me. Secure when we don't like. What?
But, what do you mean? What do you mean?
We're let smaller team resident something, but what? Oh, you want hell. Okay, this letter literally tells you that it was there, but fine, you want to prove this tiny, I'll show you the tiny frame. God damn it. I like how it's like, hey, game, I'm giving you a point for this. It's like, oh, thank you, but we don't deserve this. Wazam! I'm gonna show you something else that doesn't make any sense at all. I should have been able to present it. It says it in the goddamn thing. Missing something? Yes, the palest blue stain inside the frame. Yes, we all know. Whatever. Okay, great. 2 inches. Yeah, we get it. We got it. Thanks. I'm aware that it fits inside the frame. Thanks. We all figured that out a long-ass time ago. Order. Poison stamp is in the frame. Possible. Prosecutor Gavin, probably something on the desk. You know, can I say something? No, you can't. You know, I prohibit you from talking. Poison stamp and a mortar weapon aimed at him. Do you feel the need to play your imaginary guitar? Like, he looks so stupid to everyone else who can't actually hear the music being played. All you see is just him doing that. Finally, something we agree on.
It was a murder weapon nonsense. Murder is a simple business. Why go to such lengths? No one.
Yep. Oh, I disagree.
Come again?
Recall, if you would, the victim's reclusive lifestyle. Drew mission hid from the world. He avoided meetings. His only contact with the outside world was the mail. The mail? Now, if you wanted to kill someone you couldn't meet, but you knew red letters, a stamp would be the perfect weapon.
Ridiculous. Where's your proof? I would prove
Well, the last time I tried to show you proof, you said, haha, psych. What is it, Apollo? Your fists are trembling. I think I know what happened. I think I know how Mr. Mission was killed. Well, full of Mr. Justice, a certain piece of evidence points to the truth, Your Honor. I can show you how someone was...
Are you going to accept it this time?
So this is the envelope, the one from 7 years ago? Think about the text of this letter again. There were 2 pages in the envelope. This is page 1. And this is page 2. I want to draw your attention to the one phrase in particular. Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp in 3 days. The enclosed stamp, Your Honor.
In other words, if I have this straight, the stamp, poison, on the stamp, lick, gasp.
Now, what if that way he had done exactly as the letter asked? He was sending the document and put it in the envelope and put the stamp on it, right? Then he would put it in his letterbox. 15 minutes ago, he wouldn't have elapsed between affixing the stamp and mailing the letter, but the clock started ticking, and when the time came, he drew his last breath, and the murder weapon would have been taken away from the scene. Quite conveniently, thanks to the postal system.
This man imagination you had on your forehead. Let me confirm one thing with you, if I might. So, this poison stamp was inside the envelope from 7 years ago, ja? Is that what you'd have us believe? Really?
What? Well, it's a little of a stretch, but it's a possibility.
It's a very small possibility. How's about I wonder? Poison stamp in this envelope was stamped that then became the murder weapon. How do you intend to prove that seeming coincidence?
Well, 7 years ago, we don't even know who sent that letter.
And your answer is silence, I see. Very well, I move to it.
What? Wait, what? Wait, what? Go back a minute. What? Okay, one of two things just happened there. Either the game had a fucking stroke, and it showed the wrong sprite, which is also bad, or the game had had one of the characters hallucinate Kristoff being there. I don't know which one would be worse, honestly. I really don't know which one of those two things would be worse. Oh boy, okay.
Well, let me Kristoff Gavin impression. Did I sound like it? Yeah.
Oh my god, this game!
Don't quit your day job.
You have a crime scene looking at the front eye detective.
Something to come dig you out of all out of the mess you're making in this case. Mess. You know, none of this would happen if you just trusted in science a little more. You can find out if that stamp was in the envelope easily.
Can't explain yourself, front eye detective.
Glare at me all you want, but science is on my side. It's all in the residue, right? That's right. Try out the poison detention spray.
Produce the red envelope at once. You can open it in the authority of the court.
Yay, more. Oh, look at it. Look at that. Look what we found. Yay, it's a stamp.
Well, would you look at that?
No mistaking it. That's Atracinian residue.
I don't believe it. A murder weapon from the past. Now, 7 years later, it bears its fangs at last.
It'd be outrageous. Tell me why. Why didn't this murder take place 7 years ago?
Well, there's one possibility. Maybe Mr. Mission figured it out.
Figured what out?
He realized that the person who sent that letter wanted him dead, so he sent his reply with a different stamp.
And put its decisive evidence in the frame. Ah, you're still here?
Can I make a statement here on record? I Spark Brushel, claim this is my...
I don't care about your freaking thing.
Order, order, order. I see room for further argument here, though I admit this is all coming as quite a shock. To think that the murder weapon reached his mouth for 7 years. Stamp his ticket straight to afterlife, end quote.
Uh-oh, I think the witness is a bad influence on our judge.
I see no further need for further debate on this matter. The sender of that letter 7 years ago could hardly have been our defendant.
Apollo, I think we just won.
Very well, this court finds the defendant.
Oh, f***ing hell. Clavier, can you just clam it for once in your goddamn life?
Is this a bright future running system?
Prosecutor Gavin?
I think the afterlife from 7 years ago. Tickets for Gavin news shows are held after 2 weeks.
But it doesn't make sense either any other way.
It boggles my mind so many people haven't noticed this. There's a fatal contradiction here for its claim. A contradiction? The person stamp that was placed in this envelope 7 years ago. Whereupon it was framed until now, if that's the case. And why would Mr. Drew Mission have done what he did?
Emma explained it, he must have realized it was poisoned.
There lies the rub. 7 years ago, the forger Drew Mission Simpson trap and put the stamp in the frame. I cannot debate this, but the next question, why 7 years later did he use the stamp on the night of the murder?
Probably because he wasn't the one who the letter was sent to. I mean, he was. But if the... So, here's the thought process here. Like, he's the one who sealed the letter with the stamp, but might not have been the one who actually read the letter. And there's only 2 people live in that apartment, so the other one would have to have been Vera. Right?
He's supposed to believe it's strange happened himself.
Well, I admit, this is all quite shocking myself. It does seem highly unlikely they would fall of a trap. That I've been sitting on his desk for 7 years.
Apollo, I don't think we're winning anymore.
I'm glad to see we're back in the real world now. Welcome back to reality. We're waiting for you.
Yeah, I've been waiting for you to come back to reality the whole goddamn game. Okay, then how do you explain the poison stamp that was in this envelope?
The poison stamp? Where exactly is the poison stamp? You brought it to court for us? It's the proof of such a thing ever existed.
What the f***? We just sprayed for evidence, you idiot! We just sprayed for residue! It was, like, I really, genuinely thought we were approaching something that was actually decent. I really thought that when the twist came about, it's like, he died from the stamp, I really thought that we were coming to something good there. And then, immediately, with a snap of their fingers, they're just like, haha, can't have that, gotta make it bad again. Gotta make all the characters f***ing idiotic. Gotta make all the characters f***ing morons.
Poison stamp that exists, you must have never used it. That is all.
I believe we've come to a conclusion again.
Apollo, we were wrong the whole time? I can't believe it. The poison traces match up, it can't be coincidence. I'd like to bring some closure to this issue sometime this year. Mr. Justice? Yes, Your Honor. Let's review the facts and see where we stand. 7 years ago, there were traces of the poison attractinium on the document inside that envelope, but similar traces also found at the crime scene, on this tiny picture frame. The defense was indicated the possibility of the yellow envelope, but an envelope left the scene of the crime with the poison stamp on it.
Yes, but even if the envelope contained a poison stamp, and Drew Bishop, knowing this, put it in a frame, he never would have used that stamp.
I'm afraid you're right, which means that there was a fatal flaw in the defense's case.
I haven't been on the wrong track this whole time, I'm sure of it. Traces of Equinine, envelope, time frame, or the frame, mysterious death, are all connected somehow.
Well, Mr. Justice, do you have a conclusion for us?
The defense stands by its case, Your Honor. We've seen that the logical outcome of the evidence makes no sense, which means that one of our clues must be a fake.
A fake clue? Fascinating. If we find this fake, your world fantasy will prove quite reasonable, John.
The fake clue that's thrown us off the trail is none other than Drew Misham. Yup, because the other one, the Vera, is the actual forger.
The victim was a fake clue, I'm afraid I don't understand.
I'll explain. We have an envelope, a frame, a mug linked by poison. They all make sense. But it doesn't make sense to the victim himself.
Congratulations, you've completely lost me. The fake evidence is none other than the master of fake himself, the forger. It's a good story, I'll give you that.
The fake clue. Fakes. Forgeries. Ah, I know the face. I just had an idea face. I don't know if I'm right, but I'm going with that anyway. What if our forger was a fake?
Come again?
7 years ago, our forger sniffed a trap and stepped inside. 7 years passed. Now the forger stumbles into the very same trap and dies.
Why? That's what I want to know.
Because the forger who was killed was a fake.
Here we go again. The victim was a fake?
One forger smelled the trap, and one forger fell into the trap. That's 2 forgers, and one of them was a fake.
And here's this music that no one likes. Order! Order! Order!
So you're telling us that Drew Mission, the victim, was a fake? Well, if he was the fake, who was the real forger? You better not be claiming there was some kind of switcheroo.
I'm afraid you're going to have to back up your story. Mr. Justice, show us who the real Drew Mission was. If Drew Mission wasn't the real forger, there's only one other person it could have been. The only other person living in that apartment. The real forger was you. Can only be one explanation, really. The real identity of the forger knows Drew Mission is none other than his only daughter, Vera Mission. Order! 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 Mr. Justice, this is going out on a limb even for you.
I kind of agree. I mean, Vera, a forger? Let's consider it before you write it off entirely. If you look at the paintings in the studio, one fact becomes quite clear. Forgery has been taking place in that studio for quite some time. The forger wasn't caught in that trap 7 years ago. This can only mean that the one who was caught in the trap wasn't the forger.
Well, actually, that does make a certain kind of sense.
One more thing. The only 2 sets of fingerprints are found in the forger's studio. Drew Misham's and Vera's. If we know that Drew Misham wasn't the forger, then that leaves only one possibility, but process of elimination. The forger was Vera Misham. Well...
God, again with your stupid guitar.
Fascinating.
Vera Misham, you've been paying attention to the trial so far?
Let's just ask you to begin with it, shall we? Who are you? Who's the forger, Drew Misham?
Was that? She's staring holes into Prosecutor Gavin's face.
I'm used to being stared at by forehands, believe me. They usually talk to me too. Tell us, were you the one who forged those works of art?
Yes.
So the forger, Drew Misham, was you?
Yes, it was me.
What? What?
The court was in an uproar and wasn't coming down. Like, you keep using this trick, the whole major revelation, and then the court goes up in arms about it. That was used twice in the original trilogy. Once in Rise from the Ashes, when it was revealed that the prosecution used fake evidence in one of the most significant murder trials of all time. That sent people into a tizzy. And also in Farewell Turnabout, when it was so blatantly obvious that Matt Guard was the killer, but Phoenix still had to defend him regardless because he knew that if he didn't, Maya was going to die. And those were the 2 places that they absolutely should have used that trick. But here it's like, yeah, I was actually the forger, and it's like, whoa, the crowd was in an uproar. It's like everyone's going up in arms. Things are flying through the air. It's total pandemonium. It's just, I'm not buying it. Okay, thanks for watching. Stay tuned next time to catch you all next time for more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Goodbye.